Pensado's Place is brought to you by
an artist, a songwriter. Our guest is an incredible guy. We've got a great promotion for you. We've got brand new ITLs. We've got all the stuff you've come to know and love. You're at the place. It's Pensado's Place.
Hello, everybody. Good to have you with us. It's going to be a great day. Cat I know and like.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
We're lucky, man. We get to sit across these guys. Do you think any of this stuff's rubbing off?
Well, yeah, I think so. God knows I learned a whole lot in the last 2 years, and you know, we talk oftentimes about how it impacts your mixing and stuff.
Yeah, I think I've gotten better.
It's like we get to come and hang out with friends and learn.
I had two choices: either be humbled and quit this profession,
right, exactly,
or get better when you know.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'd have
Very
been managing
cool.
hip hop acts. So, good week for you.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just blessed, you know? I mean, I wake up every morning, I get to do what I love to do, and, and when people love it, that's even better.
Absolutely.
When they don't, it's still good.
Well, let's get to our good stuff. What do you think?
I'm ready.
Hey, guys, good to see you. Welcome back. We're coming to you live from the Art Institute of California, Los Angeles, which is our beautiful HD studio, which stands for?
Whatever you want it to, Herb.
Okay, well, we'll let them pick. How about that?
New contest.
Absolutely.
Let's let Sharpie sponsor it.
Absolutely.
No, it depends.
I
don't have to waste time.
Yeah, we've gotten healthier. You know our social media drill. Go and like us and comment, which we love. If you get a chance. Our Vintage King family, we'll say hello to them. You got a Stump the Vintage King guy question?
I do. A lot of my friends work on laptops. Now, if they run their DAW on a laptop and they only have the internal hard drive on the laptop, is that okay, or should they just wait and spring for the money for an external drive?
Ah, very good. Right?
Pro Tools actually doesn't recommend it, but I've done it.
So,
but we need a pro opinion, though.
Well, very cool thing with Vintage King. You know, they're coming to us with different kinds of stuff. So our new Pensado deal will be coming up shortly with Vintage King. Stay tuned for that. They're doing great stuff. Always hello to our Avid family. Let's do a prom wave. Little prom wave. I'm
not on camera, but you can hear it.
There you go. You can feel the cheers. And the cool part is we're going to have our winner, which we announced on our Facebook page, actually at our website, pensadosplace.tv. We're going to have that winner on the show really soon.
I need medical attention while I was waving. I just noticed I have a splinter.
Oh, God, that's terrible. So nonetheless, as we're telling you, our great winner, you can go to pensadosplace.tv where we announced he's going to be joining us soon. So let's congratulate him. Congratulations.
That's so cool, man. I love these Indaba contests.
Very, very cool. Now, as Dave gets ready to introduce the ITL, just keep in mind that we had a chance earlier. Sometimes we can't get guys on the day of the show, get them in other times. So you're going to see a special interview we did with Jacob Luttrell, which is great. So stay tuned. Dave's going to introduce the ITL, and then we'll roll the Jacob interview. After you, sir.
You know, as always, this ITL is not just what it is. I want you to take these concepts, expand on them, make them your own, and let me know what you did. I've gotten some great emails recently about guys that have tried some new things with some of the concepts we've talked about, and I can't express to you how happy that makes me. So if you'll run this one, Will. Hey guys, I want to share something with you. This is something I don't hear people talk about too often, but sometimes we need inspiration. We need sources of new ideas. We need to see what our colleagues are doing. We're all part of the same community, no matter what level you're at. So sometimes it's fun to see what a guy starting out is doing. It's fun to see people I don't know, what they're doing. Inspiration can come from any number of places. Before I start working during the day, I usually do these 5 things. So I'm going to share it with you. One of the first things I do, I go to Mog and Spotify. Both of them have their uses. Mog, here's my just list. I can just let this play top to bottom. It's It's just some things I like listening to. If I'm in a mood for country, I listen to this. And then I've got some songs that I like to just get my head right with. New releases, it gives me all this. And now I like the premium version because you get a little better fidelity. In this case with Mog, you get to stream at 320. Now with Spotify, first thing I do is I go to what's new and I check out what's new. I like this Billboard Hot 100. Kind of gives me an idea of where the world's at, what they like. And then if you look over here, here's a list that my friend Dylan Dresdo sent me of some things that he's listening to. Got a couple other buddies and we share stuff. A lot of times I just let these things play while I'm loading in a new plug-in or waiting forever for my rig to boot up. Now, another thing I like to do, I like to go to the Sound on Sound website. They've got a Secrets of the Mix Engineers. My buddy Paul Tingen writes this. And I'll pick somebody that I'm not that familiar with and just kind of learn a little bit about them. Like today I ran into the Mumford and Sons, and so this kind of shows you where they were, a little bit about how the records were made, the equipment they used, some of the settings. They describe the process. Here's the Pro Tools session. On and on and on and on and on. I just like seeing what guys do, you know? I mean, we just love this profession, and man, there's some great information here. So this you actually can learn and steal stuff in terms of techniques. Another thing I love to do is go to Beatport. The electronic dance world, there's no rules. It's probably the most open musical form there is right now. So let's say I know I'm about to be working on a pop tune and I'm tired of my same old effects. I'll just go to Beatport, let it play. It has popularity ratings for different songs, and I've got my favorites, and I'll hear a delay or I'll hear a weird little sound or something that might inspire something in me. So I use Beatport like you guys use Into the Lair. I go there for some ideas and some new things. And it's a good thing to see what the electronic world is doing. Even if you're a rocker, there's applicable things there. Now, another thing I like to do, guys, I like to go to the manufacturer's sites. I know it's an obvious thing to say, but there's so much information, so much usable information on the manufacturer's sites. The plugin manufacturers are really good about showing you how to use their plugins, tutorials. Waves is incredible, UAD, Sound Toys, everybody. I picked this website because I'm here a lot. What I like to do is I like to go to the artist or the endorsers, or every site has users or something. They changed the name. So let's check it out. Let's go to user stories. And so let's see. Oh, our buddy Andrew, Joe, man. So Crystal Method, I know Ken, let's see what they're doing. They talk about some of the things they've been doing, how they use this particular set of plugins, but concepts apply to any plugins. And then they start breaking down a couple of songs they've done recently. There again, it makes me feel part of a community. It makes me feel like I'm a mix engineer, you know, and these are the people that do what I do. I like to see what they do. Another website that I use now, if you're into virtual synth, this is a great website. If you use Pro Tools, this is a great website. If you don't use Pro Tools, it might not be the perfect website for you, but you still should check it out. Find a website similar for your DAW. Russ Hughes all his stuff is good. So here we've got public beta. Look up here. This is one of my favorite things. Free plugins. I go here all the time, and this is how I found out about a lot of the plugins I really like. Now, they're free for everybody, so they're all good. Russ checks them out, so you know they're good. And that kind of lets me keep up with Pro Tools-specific bugs, Pro Tools-specific releases, kind of helps me time my purchases. If there's a big product coming out, I might want to sell some of my older gear before the new products come out and then be ready to buy the new products. This would be number 6, technically. I'm a guitar player, so I love this website, guitargearheads.com. You get everything. I don't get to play guitar as much as I'd like to, so it's fun to see what's out there, what people are doing, what's available. Like I said, if you're a keyboard player, you might want to go to a keyboard-specific website. In combination, all these things get my day going. Some of them I use for inspiration, some of them I use as a way to keep from getting bored while I'm waiting for a plug-in to load, or a mix to download, or a mix to upload. And it keeps me current, keeps me inspired, lets me know what my friends are doing, lets me know what people I don't know are doing, people I want to meet, and just generally keep up with this thing we call engineering that we all love so much. Here again, I asked you in another ITL, let me know your ideas, let me know your thoughts. Give me a list of some of your inspirations. I really will take them seriously, because I learn as much from you guys as you learn from me. All right? Adios.
It's such a pleasure to have our guest. He has had an explosive career. He's on the speed dial of so many folks on the A&R side and the producer side. He's like you guys. He's a performer and he plays a lot of different things. He comes exactly from your space. It is a pleasure for Dave and I to welcome Jacob Luttrell. Hey, bro.
Hey, man.
How are you, man?
My man.
Good. Fire away, Dave. We've got a great one.
Jacob, I was going to start just right in on the creative stuff, and then I'm sitting here thinking, your childhood and your early life is such an integral part of your creativity. Start me off with your background a little bit as it relates to your songwriting today.
Well, I grew up in a household with, musical parents and uncles, and my uncles were, my mom's brothers were insanely good jazz musicians. My Uncle Wayne was a drummer, my Uncle Phil was a trumpet player, and they
Must have been a big house with all those people in there.
It was, and then it wasn't at the same time. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and we all, our parents played, the Moody Blues and the Beatles and Stevie and Earth, Wind and Fire. So we had all these different, things coming at us, and we loved it all. And Tom Scott and the LA Express was a big, huge part of my childhood for some reason.
Oh, boy, mine too.
Yeah. So, about 3 years old, I got a hold of Stevie Wonder, and I couldn't let go.
That's it. Life-changing.
Yeah, I heard his voice and didn't know what he was talking about. Just loved the way he was singing, and I was like, Mom, I want to do that. And then my uncle got a hold of me one day and really sat me down and said, listen to what he's saying, And from then, from that time in my life, it took off into me trying to find myself as a musician and as an artist. So.
And in that process of learning what he was saying, did that put an extra emphasis on lyrics and the meaning of a song?
It did.
Is that
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely, it did. And at times, it didn't matter at all. Music, it was love to me, and melody and, chord structures and the way that chords made me feel. Yeah. That was all I cared about. And I would be reminded, and I'd go back to Stevie, what was he trying to do with his music? As powerful as that tool is, you can do something with it.
Yeah.
You can make change happen.
Yeah.
That is definite and direct.
In the creative process, you've been very successful. I mean, several top 10 records, top 5, several number 1s. What percentage of those early childhood experiences are still manifesting themselves in your writing today? Of those influences, can you put a number on what percentage has made it up to this point? Because that's pretty important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It depends on if I'm writing for another artist or if I'm writing for myself. I have a different approach when I come to, when I approach pop music. I don't necessarily, I would probably say about 20% of my influence is in my pop writing. And then I'd say 80% of my influence is in my writing.
When you write for your own
When I write for myself, yeah.
That's interesting.
And it's interesting because of the breadth. I was always struck by the breadth of the hits and artists that you have. It's Enrique Iglesias, it's Pitbull, it's Wanye, it's Akon, it's
Flo Rida
and Sia. I mean, it's a wide range of, which probably is stimulative for you as a writer-producer, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can get outside your box and push the envelope.
And what you're basically trying to do is, what I'm trying to do in that sense is, I want to help that artist say what they want to say. I don't really want to say what I want to say through them. I want to help them say what they want to say, and do that in a musical way they want to do it. And I've been a student of music since I was a little kid. So, you know.
So does the process change then? Because if you're creating a song and bringing it to them to present, like we talked about earlier, you'll be doing shortly with CeeLo.
Yeah.
Or is it different once you get with them and know them and you write together?
It's different.
Yeah,
It's
I got
different. If I write a song before I bring it to somebody, there's a part of it that has nothing to do with the artist. It has nothing to do with anything but me and the music, and that's it. So in that sense, and that's usually when it's not like a specific artist that I'm writing for. It's that I'm writing and someone's gonna pick a song up, you know.
Yeah.
And in that sense, I'm just looking for something that feels good to me, and that I'm thinking, okay, you know, who's gonna care about this? Why does this matter? Why is this song relevant? You know, and then when an artist hears it, and it's like, oh, I really like that. Can we rewrite this part for maybe something I would say? And I'm like, yeah, sure. You know.
Like Herb said in the intro, you're a multi-instrumentalist, and you create a lot on piano and guitar. If you couldn't play those instruments, would your songs turn out the same?
I don't think so.
So what in the creative process, what's your favorite way to work? Get the melody first, or get the chord changes in the structure of the song first? Because
I don't know if I have a favorite way. I think that my favorite
first.
thing about music is that it can be done so many different ways. And I try not to do anything routinely. I try not to do anything like, okay, today I'm gonna go and write, and so the first thing I'm gonna do is sit on the piano and play some chords. I mean, that would just make it really like monotonous to me. So I love that I can go 2 months without touching the piano, and then go back to the piano and then write a song on it. I love that, you know, like everything around me is inspirational to me. Like everything around me, like this desk might inspire a melody, or, you know, like that pen that you're holding might inspire like a lyric. Oh, nice.
Writer's credit.
Publishing. It was interesting you brought that up, because you both are similar. We met Jacob on a CSAC panel that we shared, and we were judging songs.
That was a good day.
Well, the thing that was interesting for me, Jake was between you and I, is you could tell that, because we were listening to songs and judging them on the spot, that everything with you was sort of instinctive. It was kind of how it hit you, and it wasn't this sort of process. There were other people on the panel who have a process, and they should check these boxes and so on and so forth. You were much more fluid, and that's when Dave and I said, oh, we got a game for the show. So I can see that that being inspired is at the root.
Absolutely.
Of what you do.
Music speaks without lyrics. I mean, you don't need lyrics in music. They're there sometimes to help you, but it speaks, and you got to let it be what it is. It's alive.
It's one of the lessons that we always talk about for our audience, because when you have lots of tools, sometimes you think mastering the tools that's part of it.
Yeah.
If you don't have your gut check going, you're going to miss that opportunity to move forward.
I know this sounds funny, but how are melodies stored in your head? Are they stored in little 3-note chunks, little 5-note chunks? And when you need a melody, where do you go in your brain to grab one? Do you go to your old influences? Do they just, like some writers say, come out of the ethos?
Honestly, like I've actually been wondering this about myself, because I'll go back and, wow, where did I come up with that melody? Like, it sounds kind of familiar, but I don't really know what it is. And it turns out that a lot of my melodies are inspired by my brother.
Really?
He's also a writer and also a producer, and he is a genius. He's an absolute genius when it comes to
Inspired by, like, you owe him money, or inspired
by...
No. Is he older or younger?
He's younger. He's younger. They're inspired by when I watch him work, and I listen to the things that he comes up with, and I'm like, where in the hell did he come up with that? Yeah, and like, maybe not the melodies themselves are inspired, but trying to go to a place myself that says, where the hell? Like, I want to make myself go, where the hell did I come up with that? You know?
Right.
And he did that to me all the time.
Does he know that you're inspired by it?
So.
Well, now he does, but that's another thing. That's all right. Oh, that's fabulous.
He's pretty amazing. But I don't see, like, I think there's a lot of writers that see music in numbers, and they see like melodies in numbers and like pieces of 3.
Explain that. I didn't know that.
I mean, you know, like
Bach. Bach saw music as mathematics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian was like that too.
I see music in colors.
You say B was like that? Wow. You see music in colors?
In colors.
what's that term? Bruce Swedien said it on the show. It's a term for that. It's kind of
Really?
cool. Yeah.
I need to know it now.
Yeah, something. I can't remember.
I totally see, you know, I see music in organic, like, you know, three-dimensional colors. It's, you know.
So I remember we actually met on a CSAC panel, and I think you were sitting between Dave and I, and one of the similarities between you both is it struck me because we were listening to songs and bits and pieces, so we had to react right then. What I noticed about you, I'm always judging stuff like this, was you seem to come from a place of inspiration. Is that part of your workflow and part of the way you write?
Yeah.
It's not all theory.
No.
You got to feel it.
Music is alive. Like you like people don't really understand that music is the living, breathing thing, and you have to let it be what it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of writers think in numbers, and I don't think that way. You know, when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little footnote, he was there because he was the CSAC Songwriter of the Year.
I didn't know that. Oh, congrats, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
There was an old Saturday Night Live skit where the cat was like, yeah, I just wrote another song, want to hear it? I think he just wrote 3 songs while he was sitting there during that question. I think he's
Like
that
to
kind
hear
of
you
guy.
go. That was a Living Color.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's Living Color,
Yes.
right.
David
right.
Allen Greer. Yep.
David Allen Greer, Living Color.
Yeah. Here it goes.
Yeah. I think he just did that.
That's funny.
Which qualifies us for publishing because it was on the show. So when these things come to you, you described the process a bit ago, and I'm pretty fascinated by this. Do they come in little neat packages of 4 to 8 notes, or is it like...
They come in so many different ways.
Do lyrics come first?
Sometimes they do. Sometimes melody comes first. Sometimes the chord structure will come first. Sometimes just one sound will come first. And I'm like, I want to write a song based on a cello, or I want to write a song based on a little synth sound that I found, you know, something like that. But yeah, I don't see music in this structured box. I see it in colors. I see it in, you know, really deep reds, and I see it in really dark blues, or really light blues, or black, or completely burnt orange, you know. I just, you know, I see music like that.
Bruce Swedien said that about Michael, like when he would mix those records.
Bruce had a name for that, too.
Yeah.
I think we discussed that earlier.
So you've had, to me, you're very similar to our audience. You're a player, you're an engineer, you're a producer, you're a writer, you're aspirational. You had these dreams coming out of a small town, want to see what happened. Then it happens. Is that a life changer?
Yes.
So in Enrique's song, it just
changed everything.
What's that process like?
Wow. That was, I mean, like, my life as a journey has all these, like, really, like, key crossroad points that I feel like I accomplished something and I made it to another place. And that place that I made it to, it was a place that until then I had been struggling, making, you know, getting by check to check, and kind of like, okay, no matter what happens, I'm going to still go to the club on Thursday night and I'm going to play a 3-hour set because I love to do it. It doesn't pay much, but I'm going to do it because I love it. And when that song came out, you know, I could go and play that gig and then not play that gig, or, you know, go write with somebody, or, you know, go spend some time with my girlfriend, or, you know, and still be able to pay all my bills and then have a little bit extra for myself. And I don't know, like, the first check I got, somebody in my family told me if I actually broke it down to how much hours I actually put into music, it was like a half a cent an hour.
Wow.
Because up to that point, I wasn't getting anything.
Right.
And it, you know, it changed my life. It was a beautiful thing. Not so much for the notoriety of it, but for the lifestyle. You know, I had a lot less drama after that song.
Would it be appropriate to categorize that part of your life as the fake it till you make it part of your life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I faked it, and then I made it. And I don't really consider myself having made it yet, you know.
Well, you've made it. You're on Pensado's place.
It's true. It's true. I made it here.
Could be faking it.
Well, there's a component there, too.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what? The creative process is just such a fleeting, ephemeral thing. I just can't wrap my head around it. Can you, on like say on the Enrique song, can you take me through the process from conception to end, quickly?
Yeah.
And just in a way to teach me how to be a writer, because I want to be a writer.
Okay, in a way to teach you how to be a writer. Wow. I was in a room.
Did you walk in the room with a melody?
No, we hadn't. We started that song from scratch. DJ Frankie and I produced that song together, and we started off trying to go in a specific direction. Like, this is what we want the song to sound like, and the chords, we wanted them to feel like those familiar chords to everybody, but not be those chords. So, I started playing with some melodies, and then we started messing with synth sounds and stuff.
You said playing with some melodies.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
We pull up sounds and just, I would basically solo over what the chord structure was.
Okay.
And, Frankie would say, okay, less. And then I'd solo some more, and he could say, okay, now do less than that. And then I would do less, and then until we got to, and that was, then we were like, okay, cool, we can write something this now.
Yeah.
So Lauren Christie, another amazing writer.
Amazing.
She
Lauren
came
from
in.
Matrix?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
I love Lauren.
She's co-writer on that song.
Oh, okay.
So we're sitting there, all three of us in a room, and we're thinking, okay, what do we want to say? What is this song trying to say? What is every song trying to say that it isn't just coming out and saying, which was, hey, tonight I'm loving you, is what they went for the radio version. P.S. That song has nothing to do with love at all. Listen to the real version. And that's, we went. So we were like, okay, how do we say that? And I'm like, just say it. Tonight I'm loving you, and that's it. And then for the rest of the song, we went and looked at people's pickup lines, and that was that was it. That was the creative process. That was it.
That's pretty cool. So what I'm hearing is I have to collaborate with Herb if I'm going to be a successful songwriter?
That's true.
Honestly, collaboration is one of the greatest things.
So do you prefer collaboration to working alone, or?
It depends on my mood, but some of my favorite things have come out of a good collaboration. Not all collaboration is good.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
But collaboration can be amazing if you know how to let it. You know what I mean?
Now, in today's world, there's very little, okay, now let's record it. Okay, now let's mix it. Okay, now let's... The neat thing about you, and one of the reasons that I felt you were going to be a great guest, was because you can do it from creation to end. I'm going to teach you mastering, and then you'll have everything. There's nothing left for you to learn after that point.
I'm excited.
And Herb will teach you record promotion, and...
Oh. I'm just going to let him do it. I'm not going to...
So how important, and when is it important that you actually are controlling and manipulating the sound of the recording, engineering it and producing it and working Pro Tools yourself to the creative process? Is there ever a time when that takes over the process, or is it always subservient to the lyric and melody?
No, it definitely can take over, because like I said, music is an organic living thing, and if you're not letting it be what it wants to be, you're going to be fighting it. And like all the time. Yeah. Like even a specific sound, like for example, I'll be in the studio with my brother and we'll be working on a song, no lyrics yet, just music, just putting together a good foundation for a song. And if the initial like drum sound that we're using, or the initial like piano sound, is making us feel something beautiful, and we don't even have to talk about it. We can feel it. We're going to make sure that thing, it affects whoever it needs to affect when it hits their ears. You know what I mean? And just let it be what it is and what it can be all the way before we move on to something else. Like, okay, now the drums and the piano are good. Does it need a bass? Is it doing enough without a bass? Does it even need a hi-hat?
Always mindful of protecting those central elements.
Like, if you put too much on it, you're burying the beautifulness that it started off with sometimes. So to me, it really depends on the day, it really depends on the time, it depends on how I'm feeling that day, how my brother's feeling that day, whoever's in the room is feeling that day. If I'm working on a song, and in my head I'm like, I really got to figure out how to get this melody right, or this last lyric, this top line needs to be perfect. and then somebody is in the room going, "Oh my God, this part is amazing! It's my favorite part of the song." You know, then I'm like, okay, well maybe I'm concentrating on the wrong thing right now. You know, like that sound, that's the sound. It doesn't even matter what you say over it. The sound is amazing. You know, then. You know.
Then collaboration works. Or
Exactly.
At least,
yeah.
It wouldn't be a show if I didn't just randomly go off in the left field. A lot of people ask me, like, there's 65 writers on that song. How do they split it, and who gets what, and how do they know? How do songs end up with like 15 writers?
Oh man,
you which you have a few yourself.
Yeah, I do. You know, somebody will come in with a song. Sometimes, like a brand new writer, brand new to the game, will have this amazing chorus and a really bad verse. Like they didn't know how to tell the story to get to the chorus, but the chorus is amazing. Yeah. And by itself, the chorus can stand alone. And then so, you know, good friend of ours, Mike Heron, he'll take, you know, that chorus and say, hey, you know what? Would you be okay if this person over here tried a verse on it? Yeah, sure. Somebody else tries a verse. Their verse is great, but their pre-chorus is like, eh.
Are you in the same room with the person with the bad verse?
I mean, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it'll just end up in my
Mike
lap.
will say that right in front of him?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
Mike.
He'll come into me all the time and say, your chorus sounds kind of like a pre-chorus to me. Could you just make this the pre-chorus and then come up with something bigger? It needs to be bigger right here. So, and that's you know, if I love what I'm doing, I'll say, no, Mike, I'm not going to do that. Trust the song and come back when it's done. Or I'll say, yeah, you're probably right. Let's go that way.
Is it hard to work that way? Because doesn't that get out of your comfort flow process to just? That's all craft right there, basically.
It's hard to work in pop
technique.
music in general for me.
Well, you're a soul guy living in a pop world.
Exactly. So when that happens, I just say, oh, it's, you know, hazard of being where I'm at.
But word to the wise. What? Make sure you work out all your splits along the way.
Absolutely.
Because trying to do that afterwards can be a nightmare.
Absolutely.
Correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if a song you started off writing ends up with none of your stuff on it, but it still has your melody, you still have some points there.
That's right. That's right. On the journey, it took off fast and then got bigger and bigger. Along the way, you take on baggage. Some people call it baggage, but you have to have is a team important as you start to progress?
A team is very important. You're going to walk into a lot of rooms where a lot of the people that are in the room don't have your best interests at heart. You got to have a support system. I mean, there's got to be some people that you really trust, and there's got to be people on your team that you know, personally, I don't like engineering when I'm working. I don't like it because that's two separate jobs. I like to engineer if I'm just working on engineering. I like to write when I'm just working on writing. I like to do music when I'm just doing music. And I want an engineer who's working with me to kind of be intuitive, you know, instead of me having to tell him, okay, now move that piece. No, the other one. No. Okay, now go down to the third track. Okay, no. That's wasting my time. Like I'm not in a creative space at that point at all. Right. I'm in a
your management.
I'm barking orders. Yeah,
exactly.
It doesn't help creativity at all to do that. So a team is really important for a lot of reasons, that being one of them.
Is it important that that you have somebody in your team that will tell you the truth?
Absolutely.
Because some teams just acquiesce.
And that you can fight with about it, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some people have people on their team that tell them a little too much of the truth.
I'll leave you guys alone.
It's fine.
You know, that leads me to my next question. I got this theory that creativity needs conflict to survive. Yeah. You show me a person that lives in total harmony, peace, and love, and I'll show you a non-creative person most of the time. Yeah. And it seems like most creative people are like wildfires. They have their own self-sustaining winds. Yeah. When they get successful, if they don't have the old drama of paying the bills, they'll create some drama somehow. So is that you?
No.
If it was, would you know it?
You know what? I used to think it was me, and I used to be afraid of success because of that. I used to be afraid that, oh man, if something happens, am I going to be able to write good music anymore? My stuff comes from a place of pain. It comes from a place of anger sometimes, and you know, some of my best songs come from you know, being in a relationship that went sour.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But then I found myself in a place, not only financially that was happy, but in a relationship that was happy, in a time in my life that was like very peaceful to me,
Right.
where it was just like I've never experienced peace like this before, and I thought, oh wow, okay, well, you know, was my fear correct? Am I not creative? So I said, well, let's try to write something. My favorite song I've ever written.
Came out of that.
It's not even finished yet, and an album/movie has come from this
Is that
time
right?
of peace. Yeah.
Amazing.
And so, no, I don't believe that. I think some people have that, and some people will hold on to that.
Right.
But I think that is based in fear.
You know what? We're going to do something different. We have to pull in the injury report because as you loosen up your arm for batter's box, we got to let our audience know that Jacob showed up with a healing collarbone.
Yeah.
And he's still going to step up to the plate on batter's box.
You know what this is?
The tiniest violin in the world.
And it's playing just for you.
Let's tee up batter's box, Dave. Why don't you
All
throw
right,
the first pitch?
very unique batter's box today. One off. I think I'm going to win this one.
Oh my goodness.
In fact, that $500 I gave you should solidify my position here. Lyrics.
Somersault, kiss you with, no, Somersault, Stevie Wonder. I can't even get it out right now. It's the most beautiful song in the world to me.
Son of a bitch, he started off
It
good.
sure did. Balls went over the...
Good one. Melody.
Beatles,
Tempo.
95 BPM.
Hold on. 95. Okay. Key.
A minor.
That's just basically C, the most boring key on the piano. I get that one. Songwriter.
David Ryan Harris. Yeah.
That's a good one. I think he's winning her. Subject.
Subject. Pain.
Ooh. Damn. Collaborations.
Detrimental.
Ooh. Pop music.
Ooh. Pain. Oh, there's a longer answer there, but no.
Okay.
No.
Hooks.
Books.
H-O-O-K.
Hooks. King.
Better song material. In Love or Heartbreak?
Heartbreak.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Last. Chords.
Chords. There needs to be more in pop.
Yeah.
Expand on that.
There's only 4 songs and there's only 4 chords in pop music. I saw a YouTube clip of a guy who played 4 chords and they sang 95 pop songs over these 4 chords.
Wow.
95 #1 hits
Wow.
over these 4
Really?
chords. And it drove me crazy. It drove me insane.
Probably 1, 2 minor, 4, and 5, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And back in the 50s, it was 1, 6 minor. You know, C, A minor, F, and G. I think it is probably.
Actually, it was 1, 4, no. Yeah. 1, 5, 6, 4.
6 minor. Interesting. Interesting. I'll give it to him, Herb. You ain't got to.
Yeah, there's no...
clean my
and
clock.
playing injured?
Well,
Oh, man.
I'm mentally injured.
Well, but we all accept that. Usually our guests come not. Let's...
I got the test scores to prove I'm at a
congratulations on
disadvantage.
batter's box. That was
a good
nice.
batter's box,
And
huh?
good-
I was so nervous, you
No,
guys.
no, you're doing great. Now we get to good stuff. We're going to get to corner office, and in the corner office is our producer guy, Will Thompson, made up. He's got some pancake on him. Will, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. You got some stuff for Jacob?
I do. I have some questions from our Facebook fans here. I'll just start with the first one. Let's see. This one comes from Matt Fox. Question for Jacob. Here's a basic question we all deal with. As a songwriter, how do you say something that's been said a million times and make someone feel like they're hearing something new and fresh?
Great question. That's a course.
That is a course. For me, a lot of times it is saying something that everybody's heard before and then saying something next to it that makes it mean something different. You know, or changing one little piece of that familiar phrase.
Wouldn't you say the country lyrics do that better than anybody.
They do. I'm actually just starting to dabble into some country.
Oh, cool.
I haven't really written any country
Yeah.
yet.
Like the more I learn about women, the more I love my truck. That's
Exactly.
There goes the women's
Exactly.
viewership.
I'm gonna miss her.
Very good.
feel
William,
bad. It was a good truck.
tee up another one.
Okay, this one comes from Christopher Vining and has to do with writer's block. How do you deal with writer's block when you get it? Do you have any process to deal with it, to go through it? How do you stay inspired?
I do get writer's block, and the way I deal with writer's block is I don't go to work.
Yeah.
When do you ever go to work? You're a songwriter.
I know. That's a I guess a relative term. No, I mean there's ways that when you start feeling that everybody can come out of it. Personally, I'm a movie buff.
Yeah, me too.
And I like to watch movies, and movies inspire me. And scenes in movies that don't have any dialogue could be a song. You know, so I'll go to movie clips, I'll go to YouTube, I'll go to things that make me laugh, or I will eat, because a lot of times my writer's block is just fatigue and I forgot to eat. So yeah.
Just an aside, Dream on his first album, he that was heavily inspired by movies. He would go to movies before he wrote every song, then come and write.
Yeah.
I want to get another one from Will, but I also had the pleasure and honor of working with Maurice White. And one of his biggest records, Fantasy, he went into a movie starring Jack Nicholson and had to leave early because it just poured out of him.
It's
being
amazing.
so inspired by that. He just said by the time he got to his car,
I love it.
was completely done. Will, tee up another one.
This one, let's see here. What advice do you have for up-and-coming songwriters when it comes to publishing and protecting your intellectual property? How do you deal with splits?
Sick my team on him.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Learn the business.
Thank you.
Learn what if you're in the music business, know what you're doing. If you're gonna come into the music business and not know anything and continue just to do that and pretend like nothing's gonna happen, then you kind of deserve it. If you're not gonna go and do the research and learn it, then do the work.
If I can throw in an experience of mine, I think that the hat that you wear going into a situation is going to be the hat you wear coming out of that situation. I was in a situation where I was hired as an engineer. At some point in time, I started songwriting. Song comes out, my name's not on it, and it was my fault. It wasn't that artist's fault.
Yeah.
Very well-known artist. When I asked them about it, the answer was, well, you were the engineer. I'm a songwriter.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
gotta, like Herb always says, you got to clear that stuff up from the beginning.
Well, the other additional point, just to wrap that point up, is that your team needs your intellect. So if you don't involve yourself, you can't bring anything into it to protect yourself.
Yeah.
So you can't just say, hey, you fix it for me.
Yeah.
What if I don't know your perspective? Where do you feel about this?
Yeah.
What offends you? What you need to know. The more you know, the more you make your team stronger, the
Simple
more likelihood for
communication.
success.
Simple communication sometimes
Absolutely.
is the remedy for everything.
Speaking of team, your team has a problem. Because I'm going to be calling your team so that you become part of the Pensado universe. We have more for you to do. You have to
Okay.
come back to this show.
I can't wait.
We have only scratched the surface.
I can't wait.
He's faking it till he makes it.
That's
Jacob,
Jacob,
what a
man.
pleasure, man.
Hey.
Seriously, man, we easy. You be injured and stuff like that. Okay?
yeah.
No, seriously, Jacob, we are thrilled by your presence.
I told you so.
Come back. Well, listen, I was the one who called it.
That's true.
We like to check that stuff out.
I appreciate it.
What a pleasure. Dave, take us home.
Guys, we went pretty quick, and there's a lot to digest, and not just about songwriting, but creativity, which is the umbrella under which songwriting resides. And what you learned today, you could make you a great painter, make you a great guitar player, a great engineer. So we appreciate the candor and the love with which Jacob shared all this with us. And watch it again, watch it a few times. We'll see you soon.